We will provide details on that later. Will there be updates after the launch? Of course! We will have ongoing updates for the TurtleWow 2 client extending long past beta and release. Will there be new add-on / mod types? Add-ons will remain the same, even the folder structures. Mods, however, are going to change completely, as we mentioned before, by going from MPQ to pack files. What APIs will there be? We currently plan on supporting the 1.12 add-on API. We have ideas for some extra API layers, but those are not going to be focused on until after release. Will you be able to move your settings and ability layout from the old client to the new client? I know a lot of people are probably very concerned about, okay, how am I going to move everything? Everything is set up exactly how I want. It will do it very easily. So on first launch, the new client is going to be able to import all your add-ons, keybinds, and settings from the old client. You will get a little dialog box that's going to help guide you through the process. It'll be very simple, very user-friendly. Is there a possibility that this client could support add-ons from other versions of WoW? Classic. So we have ideas about API layers, but this will all come after the release. As of right now, it is only going to support the 1.12.1 API, but that is going to be subject to change eventually. Now, moving on from the basic questions here, I will turn to you all. Everybody who is joining me here today in the chat, what would you like to know? Is it fresh? No. We do not plan on doing a wipe. We have been very passionate about keeping everybody's progression. That's something that is not going to change. TurtleWow will be somewhere that you can come, you can play, and you can know that your characters are safe, and you will stay here for a long time. Will there be new content with the new client? We're not 100% sure if the new client's release is going to coincide with a direct content patch. However, there's going to be a lot of new content that is going to be available with the new client, and we're also going to have a couple features that are going to now be possible because of the new client that weren't possible before. Certain things are in our sights. While I can't give any details on them currently, we have some extra fun ideas that we're going to be implementing later on. Stuff like achievements, stuff like guild housing updates, player housing, that type of thing that are only going to be possible in our new client. However, I can't give a ton of details on them just yet because they are still in the design phase. Are there any changes to mechanics? No. We are not changing the core gameplay elements. It is still going to feel and be the same exact experience. Will it support Android TV? We can do Android TV, however, Android TVs do have limited storage, so it will be dependent on everyone to be able to fit it. Will there be a beta test? Yes. We're going to have multiple phases to our beta, and it's going to go through a closed alpha. It's going to go through closed beta. It'll have a public beta, and it will have a full release. Any plans for translations into other languages? We would very much like to add a language toggle in the new client. It's something that we cannot promise at the moment. However, it is something that is in our sights that we would like to do, and we would like to get it as accessible for people as possible. How are we so confident that we can complete this type of project? Well, we have over a year of work in this project already, and we are only looking to accelerate even more. So, we have a very passionate team of very talented developers, and, you know, we believe in them. So. Regarding new models. Some models are going to be ported down from more modern expansions. Others will be handcrafted ourselves. Will there be any quality of life add-ons that will be folded into the new client? So we already have some quality of life updates coming in 1.17.12, which will be coming out in not too long. However, we are also going to be looking to implement as much QOL as we can into our new client. Obviously, it's meant to be easy to use, comfortable, high quality, all of that good stuff. So what we can implement, we will be. Will this deliver what Blizzard never could, the dance studio? So after an extensive discussion, we decided that we weren't going to include the dance studio directly in our patch notes. However, I am very excited to mention the fact that there was discussion of the dance studio. I can't promise that we're going to implement it, but I can promise that we will, you know, have the ability to slash dance, so pretty much good enough. What will happen if 2.0 becomes very popular among the masses? So, the best answer I can tell you is that we'll do our best. It's something where, obviously, we can't predict if we have a population spike. However, if we do, we're going to do our best to adapt to that and be able to put up new realms if needed as quickly as possible, and generally try to ensure that everybody still has a smooth experience. Regarding the client, it's from scratch using the Unreal Engine 5 engine, so there's not a bunch of third-party storage. A couple people I see asking about controller support, mobile control, all that sort of stuff. We will have controller support in the new client. The client will be 64-bit. While we were considering initially being a 32-bit client, we are currently planning on 64-bit because it is a vast majority of our users that use 64-bit, and it allows us a lot more flexibility. Will this modern client run the UI, networking, graphics, rendering on separate threads? Rendering will be multi-threaded. UI will not because of how Frame XML works, but the network will be multi-threaded. Will mobile players be able to group with computer users? Yes. There will be full cross-play between every player. Linux and macOS support is something that we would like to, in theory, we would like to provide, but we would need to know that we have a large enough player base looking for them. Currently, our plan is to encourage emulation. However, it's a little bit difficult to blanket say that we will support them without knowing that we have enough people to really justify putting the development time into it. We do not plan on adding flying mounts. We are still going to stay Vanilla Plus server, so we will be staying in the vanilla world. So the new client, obviously, there will be the ability for new bugs to happen. However, we are not going to be changing our core at all, so all of the base gameplay should still be functioning the same, and then it will be very limited, the scope of the client-side bugs, in my opinion, because we are going to go through a lot of testing phases to ensure that there's a lot of polish on this, because we are very proud of our client to be the absolute best it can be. The specific specs for things like mobile version are going to be provided later. We can't exactly provide them now because it's not 100% complete, but we will be trying to make it as accessible as possible.
Do not have a target.
Yes, your interface will be fully able to move to the new client facing. It will be able to be ported. So for anyone asking about specific content changes, whether that be the idea of something like... So I've seen a handful of different ones, everything from asking about PvP balance to guild housing to achievements, to outlands, to all that sort of stuff. Any sort of content development will be separate. However, this allows us to do a lot more things in our content development. Turtle WoW 2.0 client is going to allow us to do mostly anything that we would want to do. It's a matter of, after that, what we decide to do in the development design phases of everything. So there's nothing specifically that we're going to commit to, though I can share. We're going to be trying to improve a lot of the functionality and UIs of some of our custom features. Stuff like transmog, guild bank, stuff like that, where they're functional, however, they don't feel 100%. They feel 90%, maybe. They feel just slightly like they're not base game, and we want to really prevent that. We want to make it feel like this is seamless, and it will be base game with our new client. So the tablet that we will be using for our Android testing is going to be a Samsung Galaxy Tablet A7 Lite. We're using a fairly basic level tablet to make sure that it should be accessible to most people. Will there be public testing of Turtle WoW 2.0? Eventually we would like to have a public beta phase, however that is later down the line. As of right now, we are still earlier in the process and not ready to be pushing to a public beta. The best ETA that we can really provide is 2020. So I've seen a couple people ask if this, why we would go in the direction of a new client, if that would be against the idea of a Vanilla Plus server, and I disagree that it is not a Vanilla Plus idea. The entire idea of our new client is to continue to allow us to expand the vanilla universe and be able to build out more, be able to do more within our limitations of the vanilla WoW world. Keep it feeling the same, but improve the experience. The modern mode graphics, which are the HD graphics, are going to be completely and entirely optional. You will be able to play on Legacy, and functionally and visually, Legacy will be basically playing on the vanilla client, but without having to deal with lag and random crashing. The Legacy mode will have the same visuals, the same lighting, everything as... It will look very similar to if you were just, if not identical to, if you were just playing the original client. As for the size of the client download, we are going to try to keep it as minimally as possible. We'll try to keep it small, but it's something where we can't give an exact number right now because we don't have the final release of the client yet. XP rate and stuff like that is still going to be the same. That is very much a gameplay design thing that isn't going to be changed. That is still going to be as it is designed to be on the Turtle WoW network. We do plan on trying to improve the combat log and improve logging for players. However, that is something where it is not going to be a pre-release feature. That will be something that we are going to be working to develop as we go, and hopefully we'll be adding included support for better logging, stuff like that, a little bit more down the line. What is Turtle WoW 2.0? Turtle WoW 2.0 is a complete recreation of the vanilla world in Unreal Engine 5. All characters and everything will be the same. This is going to be playing on the same realms and everything. This is just going to be an updated client. For people who are a little more worried about how are we going to balance this with our other development, this is a completely separate development team from our content development. Our content developers, designers, modelers, all that are completely separate from our main development team for Turtle WoW 2.0. Turtle WoW 2.0 is being developed by an extremely talented team of folks who we've been working with for about a year and a half on it now, and they are completely focused on 2.0. They are not developers for Grim Patrol or anything like that. Player movement should be a little bit smoother on the new client. However, there's going to always be some awkward adjusting when it comes to high ping. However, we're going to be doing what we can to minimize any forms of lag and minimize it to only the latency that is physically required by the laws of, physics. Any sort of new realms would be purely based on if we are unable to support our population on our current realms. So I won't be promising a new realm or anything. However, if there is enough interest, of course, we can explore that possibility in the future. Will we keep our experience rates the same? We're not planning on changing the gameplay of Turtle WoW in Turtle 2.0, because 2.0 client update is not a design difference. However, there are plenty of ways that you can speed up XP on Turtle WoW if you are a newer player. Things like tents, things like taking War Mode challenge, stuff like that. Current add-ons will all work. However, we will look to add further possibilities for other sorts of add-ons in the future, after release. The cool Barons cover in the teaser trailer, we don't have a full version of. It was just a short version made for that trailer, but that was very cool sound. I agree. Is there any way to support the 2.0 client directly? Donations, man-hours, testing. The biggest thing that you guys can do to support the development currently is donating to the project. It is something where I will never ask someone who cannot afford it to donate. Take care of yourself. However, if you have extra money and you are passionate about Turtle WoW and you believe in our project, you believe what we are trying to do, you want to support us, donations are a great way to support the project, because it is not a cheap endeavor to have a development team completely recreating a client in Unreal Engine 5. And it's something where we are working on a lot of things all at once, so if you would like to support us, I very much encourage and appreciate you doing so. And that is really the main thing that you can do to support us currently. However, eventually we will be into the beta, because once we're in a public beta, then, you know, go for it. When we eventually hit our public beta phase, please download it, give it a try, and let us know.
Arise, my champion.
At your side, milady.
1.17.12 is coming in the coming months here. It's not something where we have a specific day for it yet, however, it is rapidly approaching completion, so it is not something where I would not expect it to take until December. I will say that. It is going to be coming much sooner than some people might think. It is very much a, yes, it is very much a shackles are broken moment for the content team, in terms of there are going to be a lot of things that we just flat out could not do in our old client. And this, on the other hand, if we want to do something, we can just do it. So it's not something that we can give specifically details on, but like I said, it has the potential for various things. It has the potential for things like a dance studio. It has the potential for things like housing instances, stuff like that, where it's not something where we have a concrete plan for it, and it's not something that we are definitely planning to do. However, it is something that would be much more possible in this client. So, with due time, let us cook, and we will see. We have plans on releasing some dev diaries and some stories and insights from some of the stuff that we've found while developing